Hey, how's it going everybody? MLT Magic Tricks here. So in this video, I'm going to be performing and then teaching you this awesome card trick that will definitely amaze everyone you perform it to. So make sure you stick around to learn this one. But really quickly, before we get into this performance, if you are new here to my channel, make sure you subscribe with those post notifications on for more card and magic trick performance and tutorial videos like this one. If you do enjoy this video, make sure you leave it a thumbs up. And now let's get straight into this performance. Okay, so I'm going to start off this trick by giving the deck a quick riffle shuffle, just mixing up the cards. Now at this point, I would have my spectator make a selection. So let's say they choose this card. Now for this trick, guys, I do not want to look at the card. I'm just going to be showing you. I promise I'm not looking at it. So make sure you memorize your selection right there. Now we're going to go ahead and get your card lost somewhere into the middle of the deck. We'll go ahead and push it right there into the middle. And guys, since I did not see what your card is, I am going to need some help in finding it. And that is where these two cards come into play, the Jack of Spades and the Jack of Clubs. So I'm first going to take the Jack of Spades. We're just going to place it somewhere near the bottom of the deck right there. We'll go ahead and place it in, and I'm going to take the Jack of Clubs. I'm going to do the same thing, but just now near the top of the deck. So we have the two blackjacks there. As you can see, there are a decent amount of cards in the middle. My spectator could go ahead and push these two cards in. Now we're going to take a look at the cards that are in between our two blackjacks. So we're going to go ahead and eliminate all the cards above the Jack of Clubs there near the top. Now I would bet that your selection is probably somewhere in between the cards that we have here. So as you can see, there's a bunch of cards there, and we're going to get rid of all the cards now below the Jack of Spades. We're going to go ahead and get rid of these. And now at this point, I would ask my spectator just to cut this pile in half, roughly wherever they want to. So let's say they cut it right there. Now we are left with this pile of cards. I'm going to go ahead and snap my fingers, wave my hand over this packet. I'm going to spread out these cards face down, as you guys can see. Now, the two blackjacks, they come closer together, and now there are three cards that were caught in between our two blackjacks. So we're going to take a look at the cards that are somehow right here, in between the Jack of Spades and the Jack of Clubs. So these two cards are the two red jacks somehow, but check out this last card that was face down. This card should look familiar because I believe it is your selection, the Five of Spades. So guys, that is the trick. I hope you enjoyed this one, and if you want to learn how to perform it, make sure to stick around for the tutorial. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed that performance, and now let's get straight into the tutorial for this really awesome card trick. So this one is not too difficult to perform. Really, any level magician is going to be able to perform this one. So that's really great, and now let's get right into it. So there is a small setup. What you're going to want to do is take out four of the same face cards. I just chose the jacks. You can obviously choose the queens or kings as well. It does not matter. It's up to you guys. So here's your setup. You're first going to separate them by color, and you're going to decide which two of the same color you want to be on the table to start. I just chose the two blackjacks. It's up to you guys. So you're going to keep these two face down off to the side to start. Then you're going to take your other two face cards, make sure they are the same color. So I have the two red jacks right here. You're just going to place those on top of the deck. That's your only setup. And at this point, you're ready to go. So you're going to start off, you go up to your spectator with your two cards on the table there and your other two face cards on top. And you can just go ahead and do any false cuts you want to. Make sure you're keeping these cards on top. You can also just do a riffle shuffle, maintaining your two setup cards there on top of the deck. That's really easy. Make it seem like you're mixing up the deck, but in reality, you have your setup there on top. Now, at this point, you're going to have your spectator choose a card. They can select any card they want to from the deck, except your two setup cards there on top. So it's really easy to prevent them from choosing one of the two top cards. You just go ahead, spread out the pack like this, cover the top two cards with your thumb there, and they will be forced to choose a card from the middle. It is a free selection at this point, as long as you're covering up the top part of the deck there. So they choose a card. When you're performing this trick yourself, just have them look at it. You do not want to see it. So for the purpose of this tutorial, though, we'll go ahead and turn it over. But while your spectator is looking at their card, what you need to do is just get a pinky break below the top card. So you can casually just push over with your thumb, pull back like that, get a little pinky break like this. And while your spectator is, memorizing their selection and showing it to whoever else is there, you're going to take the card and you're going to do a Marlowe tilt move. This is really easy because essentially you're just going to get their card now into the second position from the top of the deck. So you have your break, make sure it's kind of even, like this gap is even across. Try to make it as even as across as possible. It makes the move a little bit easier. You're going to start off, you're going to kind of push some cards out in the middle, like you're trying to put it in the middle of the deck, but then you're going to kind of casually raise it up, and then it makes it more believable if you kind of create a little shadow here, so you can kind of push down and then upwards at the same time. So at this point, it looks like you're just putting it in the middle from your spectator's perspective. You're gonna go ahead and put it in like that, do a little dribble. It makes it seem like you just placed their card in the middle of the deck, but in reality, it's right there in the second position from the top, in between your two red jacks that are on top of the deck. So just go ahead and practice that move if you need to. It's really not too difficult. One more time, you get your little break. You act like you're pushing some cards out in the middle. You raise it up to the top, push downwards and then upwards at the same time really quickly. Your spectator will think you put it in the middle, but in reality, you have it right there in the second position from the top, which is what you need. So at this point, you're going to bring your spectator's attention to the two cards that are on the table. Now, while you're doing that, you're going to casually swing cut about 10 to 15 cards from the top of the deck, bring them over and drop the rest of the deck on, but you need to maintain a break separating this top portion of cards from the rest of the deck. So one more time, swing cutting about 10 to 15 cards, maintain a break just like that, and you're ready to go. So you're going to make the point to your spectator. You did not see what their card is, so the two blackjacks are going to help you find the selection. So you're going to take the first jack. You're going to act like you're placing it near the bottom. You can do the same thing. You can push out some cards there, but all you're doing is just sliding it in right where you have your break. So after you put it in there, you can go ahead and just drop the break like that. The jack will mark where the break was. Now you're going to take the other one. You're going to just place it somewhere near the top. It does not matter at this point, guys. You can go ahead and place it just somewhere near the top. There is no specific point. So at this point, with the two blackjacks inserted face up into the deck, one more time, guys, one that's near the top, it can be placed anywhere. Then the other one is going to be placed right where your break was. You can show that there is a decent amount of cards in between the two blackjacks to your spectator. You can even have them push in the cards. It does not matter. Now from here, you're going to spread out the cards like this, and you're going to eliminate the cards that are above this first jack here, in this case, the jack of spades. You're going to tell your spectator, okay, we're only concerned with the cards in between the two blackjacks, because you can just make the point and say, I bet your selection's probably in between there. So those are the cards we're going to be dealing with. You get rid of the ones above the first face-up card. Now, this is the important move. So you're going to be spreading through, showing your spectator that there is a bunch of cards in between the two face-up jacks in this case. Now, once you get to the first face-up jack, the three cards below it are going to be your other two jacks, and then obviously the one in the middle is going to be their selection. So you're spreading through, you're going to see, okay, the first face-up jack, and then these three cards are a part of your setup. These are the important cards right here. Now, what you need to do is as you're spreading, you're going to go ahead and go past them. Make sure you count those. So you see the face-up jack, you're going to go 1, 2, 3. Keep that in your head, those three, and then you're going to kind of pull them off to the side a little bit, and then just spread the rest of the pack, because essentially what you're going to be doing here is stealing those three cards as a part of the pack. So now you're going to square up the cards like this. You're going to need to get a pinky break separating this packet of cards that includes the three setup cards, your two setup original cards in their selection, like this, and then the rest of the pack. Now, at this point, once you do that, you count off one more time here, guys. 1, 2, 3. You just spread the rest. Get your pinky break like this, separating them, and just take off this bottom portion of cards and go ahead and get rid of them, because you need to make the point to your spectator. You're just basically, essentially secretly stealing those three cards. You just say, okay, I got rid of all the cards below the jack of clubs. Your spectator is going to believe you did that, because they're really not going to be able to see, as long as you don't flash, that there are actually three more cards below this jack of clubs. And these, three cards are cards that we need for the trick to work. Your two other face cards and their selection right in the middle. Now, guys, at this point, make sure you don't flash or anything like that. The trick is really easy to finish at this point. You can have your spectator, or you can go ahead and cut this packet directly in half. Make sure you don't do this a couple times. It needs to be directly in half, so it might be better if you actually do it. You go ahead and cut it in half one time. Snap your fingers, wave your hand over this pack, do whatever you want to. Go ahead, spread out the cards face down. Show that the two jacks came a little bit closer. You can get rid of all the cards above and below your jacks. Only concern yourself with the three cards in the middle. Show your spectator that these two, you can remember, do the top and bottom ones first. Those are going to be your other two jacks, and the final card was going to be their original selection that you did not see at the start of the trick. So guys, this is the card trick. I hope everything I explained made sense. This one has a very powerful ending. Make sure you follow all the steps. Go ahead and rewatch any parts of the tutorial you need to in order to fully understand this one. Overall, it's not too difficult. Just practice the Marlowe tilt move and the part of the trick where you're going past, pretend this is the face-up face card. You're going past 3, keeping track, spreading all the way down, getting your pinky break there, eliminating all the cards below it, and stealing your 3 cards that you need for the trick to work. So guys, that's going to wrap it up. Definitely give this one a try. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in my next video. Peace out.